tired, about to fall asleep, so I don't get way too far behind. I'm recording today's journal entry. Now, I'm going to start with a few notes that I put in the beginning. This is a new journal. I just got this at the Juneteenth festival. So they had a couple of these little notebooks. And my other journal is now full. So I thought I'd be restored when it was full, but I guess not. Anyways, the first verse is 1 Corinthians 7:25. And there Paul basically, I didn't write it down, but Paul just says, this is my opinion. God did not tell him, but it's just his opinion. And it's about a certain topic, but still, this can summarize most of what Paul does. He's not directly guided by the Holy Spirit and by God. So he is making decisions based on humans getting together and agreeing on something and his own opinion. And then I read a prophecy that was in my hometown about an apostate church. I didn't know what that meant. I looked it up. That's how it gets corrupt, and it's like kind of lukewarm, and it goes along with the world. So that's exactly what we have everywhere. Except for, actually, it's not even apostate church anymore. It's just Wiccan. They were so apostate. They're now taken over by the kingdom of darkness. And then an epiphany that I had today, and that is like knowledge, like I just know something. It's something I was thinking about for a while. I didn't do a lot of research, but I already read the verse where Jesus says not to call anyone on earth Father, because in the Bible, Father didn't mean dad. It meant like it meant like God. And so what the pagans did, what the idolaters did, is they actually called their dads the word father, which meant God. And so they they do this so that they can break, so they can do something that Jesus tells us not to. But it's kind of like they circumvent the rules to be able to break the rules. So when Jesus says not to call any human father, father didn't mean dad. It meant like God. But, so the Wiccan church, the witchcraft, the coven church, what do I say? The black magic, the white magic church, they do a lot of things the opposite. They worship Paul and the Pauline doctrine instead of Jesus. And I was just thinking about this father, and all the churches I'm going to, okay, all these churches, I'm going to say, it's not just saying father. All of these churches, they're all serving only pork. There's like only hot dogs everywhere. I know it's cheap. It's cheap because it's pork. That's why. If it was halal, if it was kosher, it would be expensive. But because God says it's an abomination, then it's cheap. So, of course it's cheap, but that's not the only reason, okay? You could have made something else that was cheap. So, all of these churches are serving pork, are celebrating the pagan holidays, are not celebrating the biblical holidays. They might bring them up. But, actually, the Baptist churches I went to weren't, some were kind of celebrating, they're lukewarm, and some weren't. So, but anyways, all of them that I have seen recently, they call God Father, which basically, like, this is what it means to follow the law and fulfill the law, is that they changed the meaning of the word Father. But actually, the intention, what Jesus was saying, the intent was that God has a specific name that no human has. And it actually says that later in the verse. So, there is a special title reserved for Creator. And we are not to call... So, anyways, then what I just understood today is that they call God Father because their father is the devil. So, we have some people, our Creator is God. But a lot of these, the Nephilims, the hybrid beings, the demons, their father is the devil. Or a devil. a fallen angel. So that's why they worship, they say Father, because they were created by an unholy union between the fallen angels and human women or animals. So when they are able to actually worship their father instead of God. Every time they say Father in church. Now I just had this epiphany a couple hours ago, so I'm telling you guys. If you believe in God, then you should be saying like God or Creator or something, or in your own language. In your own language, say something that you understand. But you are not to call God Father. And actually now they just changed the meaning of the word Father. But the reason they did that is because these hybrid beings, these disbelievers, these witches and warlocks, their father is the devil or a fallen angel, a devil. There's more than one devil. There's many devils. Their father is the devil. And this way, they can worship the devil instead of Creator. That's why they say this. And I understand. Because all of them were serving pork hot dogs. All of them were celebrating the pagan holidays. Even this one I just went to, they had a bunch of tapes sitting out, and they were all Christmas. They are celebrating the pagan holidays. Their Sabbath is the first day of the week. God's Sabbath is the last day of the week. They are celebrating the pagan holidays. God's holidays are the biblical holidays. We aren't to call God Father because God is Creator God. But they call God Father because they aren't worshiping God. They're worshiping their fathers, the fallen angels. And it is worse than apostate church. It was an apostate church, and now it's just full-on witchcraft. And it's not even hard to see. But anyways, in case I forgot, the man who was, and I know he was hired, because he kind of meant it, but he kind of didn't. There's a man in a vehicle, and he was just trying to like cause trouble with me because I was biking on the road, on a road that's 2-lane, that's 25 miles per hour. And then, but I don't know if I remembered, the last thing he said is he called me a dipshit. So this young man called me a dipshit. He was paid to call me a dipshit. Now, he had to get more than $20 to do this. I'm just going to say. They give him $20 to do something little. So, for what this man did, and then there was like 3 cars going the opposite. So we were stopped at a light, then we started to go. And there's like 3 cars coming the opposite way. I believe these were spies. They were probably recording, because they always are. So, and that reminds me. I gotta write this down too. They had other people to go the other way just to record, observe, and see what happened. And so they were probably paid $20. The man that actually did it, who knows how much he was paid? I need to write where I was recorded later. I remember being recorded this evening, and I don't remember. Well, I'm gonna write it down again, because it was weird. Like, people, strangers, looking like 40, 50-year-old military men, recording me with their cell phone, and the cell phone is actually pointed right at me, and then there's like a big open space on both sides. That, like, they're not even hiding it, they're just recording me. It's so weird. But anyways, yesterday, these 2 had witches. These witches can do a level of magic that I have not seen before. They are doing levels of magic that are in the Japanese animes. So, and they are full gospel witches. So that's kind of like, I guess that's kind of like the Pentecostal. And this is kind of concerning, because they did not invite me back next week, and I said, oh, I could just text. I'm thinking I'm gonna go to a different church, because I was told that the Pentecostal church, my father actually mentioned the Pentecostal churches, they got a lot of rules. And so I'm thinking that they are probably corrupt too. And I looked at a Facebook page of a Pentecostal church, and the men looked kind of silly too. So when they say the men lead and the men are silly and the women are really in control, this is witchcraft. So never say men lead, because you know in witchcraft what that means? That means the men are silly and their wives tell them what to do, and the wives run the show. That's what you're signing up for, because it's Satanism. This is not the natural order. God's order is we cooperate and we work together, and there's no competing. Now, anything else is from the devil. So once you sign on to that, you get what you deserve. But anyways, I was thinking there was a charity. There was a charity because someone's child had died. And then a couple days later, I heard something. I don't know if it was on YouTube or on TV. I don't remember where. But shortly after that, I heard something about the occult and how they sacrificed their firstborn sons. And this is true. But sons is unisex. And now I'm thinking, because this charity, one of the children had died, was this child sacrificed for power, for the ability to do magic and to run a church? To have a charity, to be important. I don't know. But what I just heard this, it was a couple days after. And now I'm suspicious. As if somebody sacrificed their own child for this. It's possible. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe. I'm going to find out. Anyways, we know they do this in Hollywood, but they do this in church too. Okay, so anyways, this is June 22nd, 2026. I'm going to the soup kitchen that's a ways out. I am no longer going to the one that's closer. That mission is completed for now. If I ever have to go back again, that's okay. But I think I've done everything I can do there. And that's clear. Because I did just stop by one time, and it was bad. Like, it was a little hot. It was a little stinky. The food was not that great. It was like wilty, and that was fine. I would be happy to have that food if there was nothing else. But then they just all like came in to curse me a bunch, and it was worse than ever. And then another time I just biked past, and there was like 5 lookouts, like 5 criminally looking guys right up front. Like kind of silly criminals. But they're right at the front door looking back and forth. And it's like, okay, don't go in. That was my sign from God. Like, it's not that God won't protect me. It was just nothing but trouble, and it was a clear sign. Because I have never seen 5 people standing out front while they're serving, and they're looking back and forth. They're like lookouts to make sure that I don't come in. So, whatever. I was like, okay, I'm not going there. I already thought I wasn't supposed to go there. So I'm going to the other one, and they are really trying to get me here. Since I prayed over the military base now, there is a military guy who is volunteering now. He works behind the counter now. And this is right after I prayed over the military base. Now he is working at that soup kitchen. But, maybe he'll observe me and realize I'm not that bad. I think he's kind of getting it. A lot of them, who knows what they're told. They're told all types of lies about us, about me, about if you have a situation where you're targeted. They lie. And I imagine, just based on the situations I'm put in while they're watching, then I know. Because God puts me in a situation to prove them wrong. And that's how I know what lies they've been told. So anyways, on my way to the soup kitchen, I see a cigar on the ground. All of these things are put on the road as a sign to me. And I think it means it's the end of a cycle or end of something. But I see a cigar on the road. Is this the end of, like, addiction, maybe? I see, like, at the top of a beer can or something. I never really drank pop. I do a little bit now, but not much. And that's, like, if I can get a free soda or something. But, yeah, I mean, I drank a little bit, like, a long time ago. Now I have, like, 1 beer every 6 months or something. It's not, but I'm not against, like, on a special occasion. What scripture says is, like, on holiday or to celebrate, but we are not to just go home and drink every day. So there is a difference there. So I don't know why that was there. But maybe this is just something I had to go through. And maybe that maybe that symbolized more than beer. Maybe it was other types of drugs or something. I don't know. But these are all laid out as signs for me. And I'm at the soup kitchen. There's a woman there. I said, I think she likes me, but she's an enemy. And she asked me to make a prayer. And so I know this is a mission from God. Because I don't know. People ask me if you want to pray, and I don't know how to do this. I was not raised in a praying family. And that's probably good. Because then I'd just be taught lies. But I don't know how to. Like, I know how to pray for myself. But I don't know how to write a prayer for someone else. Or, like, I have prayed for someone else before. But it's just something, like, I don't really. I'm not comfortable with it because I don't do it. Now, I pray for people at home in privacy. But she wanted me to write a prayer that she would say at her church. And she wanted it to be about strength, unity, and love. And she said she's a chaplain at the church. Well, I write something, but, you know, this is not my thing. Like, I pray in private. I don't pray for a group. But I could pray for a group. But it's almost like I'm trying to write an essay or something here. But she wanted this prayer to be about being a true disciple. But this is also a good opportunity. Because in the situation I'm in, I kind of see what people need. And what their blind spots are. What's being prayed for and what's not being prayed for in church. Because I've been to a lot of churches. This church, when I did attend, they had a lot better message. And it was truthful. But I still do know things that they could benefit from. So at least I'll put that in. Maybe she can take what I wrote and make it sound a little better, but use the same basic language, or the points I cover. So, but she wanted me to talk about being a good steward and forgiving, and she needs this. Okay. So, anyways, I also saw a turnkey on the road. It's been there for weeks. So. But this is a funny thing. There was a lock and key, just sitting on a different road. But I wrote it down, then it was gone. Now this turnkey has been on the road for weeks, but I didn't write it down yet. Now that I've written it down, I wonder if it'll disappear. So this is the kind of thing that how I know there's signs, but because I didn't write it down yet, is that why it's still on the road? I don't know. They just don't really take care of the road I live on. Anyways. There was a rotting possum. It looked like it had been there for months on one of the sidewalks. So the woman, she comes over and asks me to make a prayer and says what she wants it about. And then she goes and sits back. And she goes and sits back down. And then she's happy and she's singing. And she says, Jesus listens to me. Jesus respects me. So this is so funny. She was the one that told me I was a prophet a while back. And I told her son that I was the bride of Christ. But at that time, I thought all of the believers were the bride of Christ. But actually, the bride of Christ is actually the Christ. And there's a wedding feast of the Lamb. So, it's not the bride of Christ. It is Christ. It's just that Christ will be getting married at the wedding feast. So, anyways, so she gives me some good advice, and I don't know that she really attacks me that much, but I think she was colluding with Clean Your Plate Man to have me murdered, though, the other day. And I noticed this. And actually, there's some people I think are good that come in to keep an eye on things, and I think they notice, and they're kind of, but I'm alive. They see I'm still alive. Well, actually, they were more surprised than looking at me today, because the two witches got a reader, and the reader said I was Jesus yesterday. That if this is true, praise God. That's amazing. But that makes me think none of this is real, and it's just a simulation, because it can't be. That's too good to be true. That's too good to be true. Because my whole life I was unimportant. And I was the scapegoat and the black sheep, and I was the short one, and the other women were more attractive, and what else? Yeah, I can't even think of it. I didn't have the career. I didn't I'm the one that's I did all the stuff bad, and I guess that's right where I need to be. But, and then also the church tells you all this stuff about how, like, women are secondary and they're helpers, and they lie about all this. And they're actually just saying that so they give their controlling witches all the power. So just growing up with that, then I never dreamed something like this would be possible. And it's like the thought of that is actually, it makes me really happy to see that that I'm that important to God. And you can be that important to God too. And we are all important to God, but God has a mission for us, and we can choose to accept that mission, but most don't, because you have to lose everything. Depending on what the calling is, you have to lose. You have to lose more and more. And so now I'm thinking, this beautiful house that I loved and never got to enjoy, I think I gotta say goodbye to this house. And this is why this house could never be enjoyed. And I think because this is a historical landmark, it was mentioned to me to turn this into a museum. So I think that'll be the plan. A museum or a music studio, something like that. But I don't think God wants me to live here. And the attacks in the last week have gotten extremely heavy. But I'm safe. God won't let me be killed. But things are annoying. But what I'm saying is, all of my neighbors spy on me. Some of my neighbors try to kill me. None of my neighbors like me. And now they stopped the pit bull dog fighting, but now they have a new attack. Now they have female pit bulls that are breeders that they are walking up and down in the street in front of my house. So both of my boys are not. They're not fixed. They're not neutered. They say fixed. They're not neutered. And so the one that really loves to go out for a WALK, he weighs almost as much as me. And I weigh a lot more than I look. So I don't want to run into a situation where I'm not physically able to stop him. And this is what they are doing. They've got probably 50-pound pits. I've got 100. If I have a 130-pound dog, okay. And they are walking these female pit bulls up and down the street, on my street. And then the neighbors are trying to kill me. There's a biker a couple houses down, and then there's the drug gangs, like all around. I'm not afraid. But the thing is that it's not the happiest life I could have. This is not the happiest life I could have. So I am not getting rid of this property, no way. I'm keeping this property. I'm blessing this property. It's going to be a beacon and a lighthouse. It's going to be a place that protects the rest of the street to some degree. As people are still getting their judgment is why they're still. But also God is allowing them to do this. And I know God is allowing them to do this because God wants me to move. But I'm going to keep this property, but it's just not going to be where I live. And this has been made clear to me. I saw many videos about several months ago, a couple months ago, I saw many videos about like where you live now. This is just temporary. And I'm like, that can't be about me. Because I love this beautiful house and I never got to enjoy it. This last week, I know. It's about me. Because because the police have been arresting the gangs that live on my court. Or, no, not a court. On my street. So just right at the end of my block, then there was a bunch of officers. They arrested people there. And then the guy on the other side. And they're arresting all the gang members around me. So the ones that are left, like, they're all trying to kill me. I didn't even contact the police people. But then the biker that was a couple houses down, like, because God has called his judgment on the bike gangs, and they're trying to kill me. Not so much anymore, but then, they actually, like, they cursed me a lot, and I could have gotten hurt. Like, they cursed me so I fell while I was mowing my lawn, and I actually fell, and I hurt my tailbone, and it was really sore for a couple days. To where, like, it was hard to sit up and stuff. And then I hear a bunch of ambulances, and then I saw some guys getting their karma. A whole bottom leg amputated. This is more than one man I saw in a wheelchair. I saw like 3 men in a wheelchair. Because they were trying to kill me. And so these are my neighbors, the people here. So, like, yeah, I gotta go. And I would be fine with that. But now they are getting female pits in heat, walking them up and down the street. And I moved here for my dogs. So now they are targeting my dogs here. I actually left my last house. My food was being tampered with. I was being messed with. The house was being sabotaged. But it wasn't until my dogs were being messed with that I moved. And I moved here. And now, they did skunk spray my dog. Maybe that was a little warning. But now, if I can't take my big boy on a WALK, I gotta go. I just gotta go, and that's all there is to it. And this will be a museum and an art studio, or it'll be a music, a place to play music or something, or a place to gather. But I believe this is not where I'm going to have a happy life, because there's just too many enemies. They look into my house. The second I open the door, they're already spying. They sit outside. They get paid to sit outside all day and watch me. So it's not going to work. I need to live someplace with a little bit more privacy. And well, let's see, because I did hear, and I don't know that this is the case. It's probably not. But, I mean, I even heard things like people are being sued. There's RICO cases. People that came against us that we didn't even know about had been sued, and they owe money or resources. And then you're just going to get a settlement. Not know. I don't know how it's going to happen for me. But the reason why I have to move, or you have to move if you've received this message, is because we've done all we can where we live, and we have to move to a new location. There's more missions, and there's more things we have to do in our life, and they are somewhere else. But anyways, so when I show up at the soup kitchen, and I was outside. I forgot to mention this. I roll up outside, and I'm there at 10:15, 10:20. And then they're out there cooking, and it smells pretty good. And so there's an attack lined up. The bike rack is full. And also I was parking my bike on the rail. The rail is almost full. And then somebody has leaned something. It's like a tent or something weird. It's like something that's 5 foot tall is leaned against the fence, and and there was a guy there, and this guy was in my way on purpose. I know he was, because he got in my way 2 other times on purpose. So he was sent. He's gonna get some karma. I don't want you to get karma, buddy, but what do you think's gonna happen? Maybe they didn't tell you that everyone else that did this stuff got karma, and you're gonna get karma too. And it's not me doing it. It's the Lord. It's God. God is the one rendering judgment. I'm not doing it. If I'm doing it, it's in the spirit realm, and I'm not aware of it here. I mean, I guess that's possible. But I think God is the one that's delivering the judgment. God owns the judgment. We agree with it. When we know all the information, we agree with it. But in the human body, we only know so much. So that was blocked, and I asked the man if he can move it, and he's like, doesn't want to move it. And then I find out it's not his. So he was there, and next to it, it looked like it wasn't even his. One of the staff sat it there, and they did this on purpose. And then I asked them, and then one of them came and moved it, and I thought I was going to be late. I was trying to hurry. But they're like, oh, they're serving, or it was like 11 something. And they said, oh, well, they're serving at 11:30. So I think they bumped it back because of me, maybe. I don't know, because I was late. But actually, they were grilling outside, so maybe it was just normal. They were cooking stuff up on the grill. And it was good. Actually, it was good. But, I would say, I just went to that thrift store where I got cursed. And for $1, I bought, it's like a pizza carrier. and it actually will hold the pizza flat without going like this. And it has the handles that velcro together so it will fit over my bike handlebars. This was a problem I had before because I wanted to buy a pizza, and all the trouble I had getting that home, and it still got messed up, but it was good. So then this is something I wanted for a while. And then when I went to the thrift store, they had it. So that was wonderful. But I go to the soup kitchen. I've been going to the soup kitchen now for a couple weeks every time it's open. And they always have seconds. Now, the first day I come with a to-go carrier to bring my leftovers in so they don't fall over. Well, do you think they have seconds this day? No. It's on purpose. Just like everything else. They spy on me. They watch me. It's like half of the town is paid. They are employed to spy on me and to watch me. And what for what? Anyways, to get your karma. Because it's Judgment Day. As I told you guys, it's not a good idea. I tell all types of people, I tell them, God uses me to judge people. If they do right by me, they get blessed. If they try to hurt me, steal from me, whatever, they get karma. So that they don't listen, they don't get it. But I don't think they believe me. But now they see it happening. Then they send more people to get me, and then they get karma. So it's how God is cleaning up the world, and that's cool. But I want to be able to give my dogs a better life, and I want a better life too. I said, God, I will serve you. I'll definitely let me have a better life while I serve you. But I understand that if things are too good, then it has to be me, broke, in a ruined house. No one helps me, and I'm alone. And that way, everyone knows it's just God. I have no army. I have no friends here. I have no family here. It's just me. And you guys are all getting taken out. I am honored to be in this position. I am honored to be in this position. But I still, I think I'm handling it like a champ. But I want to say disappointed, but it's kind of sad thinking, there's things I would like to do, and I can't. There's things that would be fun to do, and I can't. There's food I would like to eat, and I can't eat it. There's things I would like to do for my dogs, and I can't. It's like you pick up your cross and you deny yourself. Yes, that's true. And I would choose this to serve God over and over again. I will always choose to serve God. But that doesn't mean that I enjoy it. But of course, I will always choose to serve the Lord. But I'm really denying myself. I would like to sleep on a comfortable bed and have clean clothes. And maybe it would be easier to drive a car. But now it's been so long that I'm not even comfortable with that again. It's been so long since I've driven a car. Let's see. It's just I could be comfortable. I could have heat. I could have air conditioning. I could have an actual bed to sleep on. I could take my dogs out on WALKSs. I could, I said, eat the food I like, drink the filtered water. They broke the water filter, messed with that. Things in my house smelling bad, like mice. I could not have mice in my house. My stuff getting ruined. My clothes they put stuff in my food to make me fat. My clothes don't fit. I have to get rid of all that. Then no one wants it. I can't even give my stuff away as charity because no one wants it. But they actually might want it, but they do this as an attack. They do it on purpose. So they actually harm themselves because they want me to be unhappy. So they won't accept anything I try to give. I want to give people stuff as charity, and they won't let me do that. They're like, oh, I don't want that. So even though they would, they might, but they don't, because it's more important that they get me. So anyways, they were telling me their karma. So finally, when it was time to pray before we ate, somebody that volunteered there normally was in the hospital. So it was supposed to be their birthday. It was supposed to be their birthday, and they were going to make a special meal for the birthday, but instead they were in the hospital. I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. You should have thought about that before you attacked a single woman with no friends or family who can't afford food, who can't afford a vehicle. you should have thought about that before you attacked. And the thing is, I still would try to help them in any way I could that doesn't need. They only want money. And no place wants help. They only want money. Why do they want money? I kind of think the only reason they want money, and that's it, is because that's the only thing I don't have to give. But anyways, I always offer to help people solve their problems. They don't want it. Well, they probably do want it. They just don't want it from me. Anyways, and someone else that goes there, their son is in the hospital. This is a new thing. Sun Hat Man has to go to Columbus. He needs a ride. He doesn't have a ride. He has to get eye surgery. So I think Sun Hat Man was offered probably some resources, a ride, or some money if he got me. Because he attacked me today. Well, Sun Hat Man, you're going to get some karma. And I don't like this, Sun Hat Man. But probably because you tried to poison my drink, which possibly, if God wasn't protecting me, could have resulted in my death, then probably your eye surgery will not go well. And this is not my fault. This is not my fault. I'm just the bait. Okay, so actually, as soon as I show up outside, then the two women are out there, the volunteer, or the one, there's a manager and a volunteer, and they got two grills. And they both speak a rain curse, and they say it's like 100% chance of rain today. I said, that's funny, because I just checked the forecast before I left, and it said a 16% chance of rain. So it changed. They used witchcraft. That's okay. There's only a few little sprinkles, until I got home, and then I stayed home later, so. But they spoke. Okay, and then the food was delicious. It was great. They got like chicken drumsticks, and it was barbecue. There was other stuff too. I don't remember. But then I go sit down, and I sit down at a table by myself. And of course, there's another table with people that I think are good, and they're kind of like glancing over at me, like they're like, what? No, I don't think they're alerting me of trouble, but I think they know there's trouble. But they seemed particularly interested at glancing at me today, because at least the coven has probably been informed, the covens had been informed that they paid someone to do a reading on me, somebody with spiritual gifts, the sunglasses man. And someone else said, oh, a man's got a demon. He said, no, just Jesus, only Jesus. And he was trembling. Okay, yeah. They didn't directly say, but they said it. And then the next day, these people are like eyeing me. And then the churches, they know this. How do they know? How do they know? The Mormons were sent. The Mormons were sent to invite me to their church, and they said, Jesus is going to be at our church, so we are inviting him. And hand me the card. I'm like, okay, that is strange. That is strange. The first church I went to, they made a few references. King Herod mentioned he thought I was a female Jesus, and he was wondering about that. And the people at that church mentioned, oh, Jesus could be sitting in the church right now. They say things, and they actually said something about going to the hospital to heal people. So anyways, then I'm sitting there by myself for a while. Then clean your plate man. Okay, clean your plate man. I think he's military. He's a military friend of MK Ultraman. He is a big man. I mean, like, kind of overweight, but he actually is very fast on the bicycle, and probably is strong too, because he's some type of military. I don't know what this is, but he was sent. So MK Ultraman couldn't get me, so he brought his friend in, because MK Ultraman has I don't know, MK Ultraman is kind of maybe sick or something, and I think he finds me attractive. So he tried to pretend that I'm his person. Okay, I said, no, you're not. And he kept trying. I said, nope. And so then he brought this other guy in. And I think this other guy is just trying to poison me, drug me, and like kidnap me. But anyways, I'm not afraid. God won't allow that to happen. But anyways, and he decides to sit next to me. He decides. Well, he's actually over a couple seats and then across. But he sat there on purpose. and there were some other people that sat down there. Now they were all involved. They were all trying to get me cursed, and and then there was a different military man. I can tell by the way they look. I mean, at least for me, I look at somebody, I can tell who they are. I can tell what group they're in. I can tell what coven they're in. I can tell what clique they're in. You can just see it on their face. But there's a military man at the table, like, right in front of me. And then I was at the last table, so there's no one behind me. And so there's a military man there watching. Clean your plate man is nearby. He actually, like, he pretends to be not. He seems like a nice guy. That's what I mean. He seems like a nice guy. But he is involved in trying to get me. And he tries to offer me salt. I'm like, oh, no, thanks. Excuse me. I take that salt, then I die. Well, God wouldn't let that happen. But anyways, they would try. They would be allowed to, because I was given a gift of being handed and passed the salt. No. I'm not, no. So I don't normally. Definitely not from your hand. Or from anyone. Somebody I've never met before. They pay people to come and get me. Like the woman, the marijuana kitten woman, okay, I never seen her before. So I wonder if something's happened to her. And the other people, they just send new people in. Yeah, probably because the other people have seen karma. These new people don't know about karma yet, and they're about to find out. Ugh, it's not good. It's not good. But anyways. So, one thing that Clean Your Plate Man did do, he did try to hand me the salt, and I declined. And they asked about napkins, and then one of the manager came by and I got extra napkins. Who wants them? No, not me. Because you're using that as a chance to murder me. I get cursed if I take a free napkin out of your hand or you hand it to me. But Clean Your Plate Man, so this chicken is messy or something. And then I got a bite of the chicken. And it tasted like it was kind of rotten, like kind of old. Like it was kind of, I don't want to say sour, but like that taste of when the meat's gone bad. And so I was going to spit this out into my napkin. And he just said this chicken is messy. And I go to spit it out of the napkin, and it falls on my lap. And then it falls on the floor. But this piece wasn't messy, and it didn't stain my clothes. So God protected me. They wanted me to make a big mess. I was eating my chicken with a fork and a knife. Because I can't leave my stuff unattended. They mess with it, they poison it. So I was eating my drumstick with a fork and a knife, and I had a coffee. And I wanted to drink my coffee. If I leave that for 1 second, they will poison it. I can't go to the bathroom and wash my hands, and I got too much stuff to carry it. If I got chicken grease on my hand. So yes, they tried to curse me there. There's people, they record me with the cell phone, but not really in the soup kitchen. If they did, it was kind of discreetly there. There's free stuff on the free stuff table. Okay, there was a new man that I saw him there last time and this time, and I didn't really see him before. Now, I believe he's a biker. Now, I don't know, but he just kind of has that look. But he's kind of a fat man, and he was wearing red shorts. And they're really wearing the red as a sign that they're an enemy. I got it. I already knew that. But anyways, he's not doing anything too bad. But, okay, so the other man that was blocking me from blocking my bike outside, when I went to get some coffee, he was blocking the coffee again. And the thing is, had I left my coffee, dumped it, and went to get more, it would have been all gone. They send people in to drain them. They bring these not crafts, like the stainless things, and they fill them up and drain them right in front of me so I don't get it. So when somebody poisons it and I dump it out, then there's no more. They like to mess with me. Well, they're going to get their karma. Well, anyways, this biker in the red shorts, he did something like, basically, this is the only day I didn't get seconds, and it's because I actually now have a container to bring my seconds home in so they don't spill. And so there was no seconds because of that. But anyways, this man in the red shorts, I went up to see if there were seconds. He was in front of me in the line, like 1 or 2 people ahead, and he got seconds. And then he's like, can I get a double of that mac and cheese? And they put a bunch of it on his. They put like 3 times as much as you were supposed to get. And then I go up and they're like, oh, we don't really have anything left. And there was a man behind me, and I was writing in my journal, and he's like, he talked to me a little bit, and he's like, oh, what are you writing? Or how you doing? I said, oh, I'm just writing down, when all these people do stuff to me, I write it down. I told him that. and then he's trying to say, oh, they're not really doing anything. Or he says, oh, I said, when they do stuff to me, I write it down. And then he did, and I said, there's no seconds now. Or I said, there's supposed to be seconds or something. He said, he didn't know there were seconds. So I don't remember what exactly I said. But I said something, then he didn't even know there were seconds. And I said, yeah, there are. And I said, that man up there, he just got he got extra mac and cheese, so there's none left for me because I'm after him in the line. And that man was like, well, they're not doing seconds. And I said, that is his seconds. He already got food once. They knew that. So he came up again in front of me and got a whole bunch of it. Just so I think I was right behind him. And so there's none left. And I said, they do stuff to me all the time. And I write it down. I said, that's the price you pay of following Christ. It's something about, like, just all the time. You know, you got to deny yourself. You got to suffer. I don't remember what I said, but I said something about following Christ, and that's what happens. I write down everything they do in here. But anyways, but I told him, so he can be aware. So that's something to consider. They always have seconds. They gave this man seconds. It looked like actually they gave him the rest of the seconds because he was right ahead of me in the line. So this was a plan, and they gave it to him because maybe they didn't even pay him $20. They were just going to give him the rest of the food. I don't know. Okay, and then there was a 4 items curse. They have the little clothes area. You used to be able to take as much clothing as you wanted. And now, since I started coming back to the soup kitchen, like I stopped going for a while, then I kept hearing like, oh, I was given a flyer about it again. And then a week later, I started going again. Because this was a sign that the first soup kitchen, that mission is over for now. But this soup kitchen is not completed yet. So then I started going. And when I started to go, now they have instituted a 4-item policy. This was not the case before. Now, I don't think they really care if people take 4 items, because it's still pretty full, and there's no shortage of items in there. But I believe they did this so they can curse me. So if I take more than 4 items, I get a curse. And I did take more than 4 items the first time, because actually I started getting stuff, and then I didn't see the sign till after I had items, and I'm like, oh, and then I put it in my bag. I already had them, and no one told me. And also, before I got stuff, they said you can take whatever you want, so I was told that. But I was told that about the outside table, so I wasn't sure. But anyways, I was getting underwear and socks. So because of that, I had more than 4, because I needed underwear and socks. No one else wanted these things. I mean, these are used items, but that's how bad my situation is I'm getting used underwear and socks, and I think there's even mouse crap in the tub. I don't even know. But this is better than what I have at home. Anyways, so now they're trying to set me up with a curse. That's the only reason they have instituted this 4-item policy. And another woman comes in too. Actually, she's the one that sat at the table after Clean Your Plate Man. She sat at the same table as me, but down a little bit more. So no, she was also brought in. So they were trying to curse me with the free items. So I go in and I'm looking around and I grab a pair of underwear and see what else I get. Because I received a message to wash stuff before you use it. Well, I don't have a washing machine, guys. So it is what it is. I guess I'll take it down to the park and rinse it in the splash pad. I don't know if I get my bar of soap out there in front of the families. Maybe that's not acceptable. I might just have to do that, because that's my situation. I found they had a couple pairs of shorts and or a pair of, I don't know, but I have like 4 items, and then I found something else and I put some, and the other woman comes back, and then there's another man who works there who's an enemy, but I think like he kind of likes God now too, but he's still with that other team. So, but he's still sent, like, he's keeping an eye on things. And he comes back, And then that woman's there, and she's got more than 4 items. And I mentioned, oh, we can only take 4 items. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to put some back. And I make sure, because the guy's watching. And I said, yeah, it says I said they changed it. So you can only take 4 items now. So I put one back, and I only got 4. And the man actually said, well, this person's out today. He's saying they won't see. You can take, basically saying they won't see. You can take more. Yeah, you'll see, and then you guys will curse me. So I said, no, I just got 4. I just got 4. I maybe would have got 5, but no. And actually, one of the items I don't even like. So that's the thing. You can't try it on. So I got to take extra. It doesn't fit, then I just go donate it somewhere else. But I just give it out to somebody else. Because, like, they have a lot of the same stuff there. I mean, there's a lot of things that no one's gotten, and it's just sitting there for months. And this is such a great service they have there. But then I went back, and they had a pair of leather boots, and the heels are like this high. So, like, the last time they had the free stuff set up, and this is before the raffle, so maybe like a week ago, and I got a pair of the flat boots, and it was leather, and it was real nice. And then there was a pair of heels too. I tried those, or like, they're just boots with like kind of a 2-inch heel instead of a 1-inch. And so I tried those, and they weren't quite as comfortable, so I just took the one pair. Well, here a week later, they're still there, so I got it. I'm like, no one else wants this, I'll take it. And you know what, I wore them today, and I actually really like them. So I don't know why. They seemed to be a little tight before, but now they're the right size. So I don't know if this is some type of curse. It's not, because that stuff's free. But I think God was holding them for me, because I really like those boots. And now I know I got an old pair of boots. All the stuff from my past, it's got to go. That's why God allowed them to give me drugs to make me fat. Is because all of my old clothes got to go. And so that includes the shoes. Like, they got to go. And then I'm getting new stuff at I'm getting new stuff at the soup kitchen that's bigger. This is good. I'm getting fat people clothes. That's fine. That's fine. People, they just all the time speak spells over me. Like, oh, the men's large will fit. Oh, you look like a medium. Or it's like, oh, large. Oh, here, I got a large for you. They just all the time people say, they curse me nonstop. But it's like, whatever. I look good, and I'm happy with that. And actually, I used to be like a 0-0, and I liked that. That looked good. But even as a large, I look good, so it doesn't matter. But they are trying to attack me, and the attack was I had clothes, and now they don't fit. I said I got all these clothes, but they don't fit, so I gotta go to the soup kitchen and find clothes that are for fat. I mean, I say for me, not for. Anyways, so, but, oh, also, then this is a while after there was no seconds. And I went to the clothes area, got my 4 items, and I came back out. And I think I had a coffee, and I was just starting to drink it. I got a little cup of coffee, because there was still some coffee left. And I was just starting to drink it. And then the woman is like, I got some mac and cheese left, you can have it. So they got more mac. It was all gone. She scraped it out, and somehow she's got more mac and cheese now. So I don't know if she maybe made a little extra or something. And there was a man with his children there. She scooped it all up in a to-go. She heaped it up. She gave him a big portion of it. So this was like 5 servings of mac and cheese. And she gave it to this. And then I came. So he went up, and I went up right after him. So I'm going to say, there's 2 things. I don't want to miss any of this. So these are all of their attacks. Like, this is a huge network of everyone just trying to ruin my life. Because I needed some dinner. Actually, I had some eggs here. I put some eggs in my toaster oven. And they were pretty good, but now I have an upset stomach. But anyways, like, I went up right after him, and she just scraped the thing out again. I'm like, oh, it's all gone. It's all gone. So they got me again, and then I went back to my seat, and I'm like, something, and then I just sat down. So there was a military man at the table on the other side who was sent to get me. He was like a lookout, working with other people. And he saw this. So that's what I mean. I think people come to my side once they're told whatever lies about me or something. They see my character, and then I think they kind of like me, even though they're enemies. This is just what I think. Now, maybe not. But, like, he saw them bully me and, like, just not allowing me to have sex. He was watching me, so he saw all their little antics. But before, as soon as they called it, then I had my coffee and stuff, and then I got up to go get it because I was going to get some for my dinner. And then I forgot I left my coffee at the table. I'm like, oh, I can't leave my coffee on the table. I got up, I started walking for like 3 seconds. And then I turn around to grab my coffee so no one can poison it. And Sun Hat Man had turned around and he was halfway to my coffee. And then he turns back around real quick, and then he goes back to... So behind where I'm sitting is a free table. There's a free table against the wall. So I was the last table with people eating. But then there's a table up against the wall that's got free items on it. He was over at the free items, right behind. So he snuck over there. He was right behind my plate. And then he waited. As soon as she called up and said, we got more seconds. And then she gave it all to someone else. And like, oh, we don't have any left. And then they were going to poison my coffee and drug me. I don't get any seconds. And then Sun Hat Man. So then I'm only up for 3 seconds. I turn around, hold my coffee, and then he was going for it. And then he turns around, he's caught. So I know Sun Hat Man. And he just said he needed a ride to Columbus. He needs a ride to Columbus to get his eye surgery. That probably means the person would have to wait while he gets his surgery. So he thought his way of getting that ride was to poison me. Well, I'm pretty sure there was a better way, because this is not going to end well for you, sir. I still talk. They all try to get me, so I talk to them anyways. But the military guy sees this. He's going to keep seeing this. He's going to keep seeing that nothing they try works, and they all get karma. That's what he's going to see. But, then also the woman that wanted me to write the prayer also said to say, no weapon formed against me will prosper. I said it already doesn't, but it's annoying. Prosper means defeat or destroy you. Okay, it doesn't, but it's still annoying. I said it doesn't, but it's still annoying. And she said, say that in Jesus' name. And I have a strong aversion to saying this. I don't say in Jesus' name. I know in the Bible it says if you ask for anything in my name, you'll get it, but I think that this isn't like this isn't literal, like that you say it at the end of a prayer. It's not like a ritual where you say it at the end of the prayer. It's like the Muslims say peace be upon you, and that's like a repetition. So a repetition, God does not need repetition. So at the end of a prayer to say in Jesus' name feels wrong to me. It feels like a ritual. And the Muslims say, peace be upon you after every prophet. That also is a similar ritual. So I don't do this. And I don't think it's right. But actually, if you're living in sin, and you're sinning, then it would be good to ask in Jesus' name. Because then that comes under the authority of someone that's not sinning. But if you're not sinning, then there's not a benefit to saying that. I'm just going to say. But if you're sinning and you don't have the authority to cast something out, then you could say in Jesus' name to get more authority. This is what I think. But it's just, to me, it's a repetition. And God cares about the heart, which actually that translates into mind. The real meaning of when it says your heart, like God judges the heart in the Bible really means your mentality, your intentions, your mindset, the way you're thinking. So God judges your mind. That's what that means. And the heart really meant the mind. So maybe we don't know. Maybe the mind is in the heart. I don't know, but at least in that language at the time. So words change over time. Maybe what is translated as heart now it actually should be translated as mind, because it doesn't mean the same thing. But anyways, yeah, he was trying to poison my coffee. They're all trying to get me, like, oh, you can get more than 4. The woman's out today. And then they try to trick me, get my hopes up. And then the woman there that was this woman gave all the mac and cheese to other people right in front of me. So the red shorts guy, and then this other man who I've never seen in there before. So he was sent in. he actually looked like he was doing well, so he probably had a regular job and didn't need to go to the soup kitchen. So they probably had to bring someone new in. This is probably a middle class man with his children. So I don't know what kind of karma he's going to get for this, but it also could just be compartmentalized to where he doesn't know. The volunteer or the staff knows, but he doesn't really know what's going on. That could be the case, but I find normally they do. Also they had babies in the soup kitchen today. They keep doing this as an attack on me. They do this as an attack on me because I'm alone and I have my dogs, and so they try to make me sad. They bring them right in front of me and like show them off. And then Wolf Witch had a baby too today. So there was multiple babies in there. And I go up and I like wave at, I'm like, oh, what's your name? And then, or I say something to her and she's like, oh, that's my grandson. I'm like, oh, what's his name? And then she sits there and ignores me and doesn't answer. I said, what's his name? I said, I guess I can't hear. But what it was is this was witchcraft. She was trying to make me sad by not answering my question on purpose. This is what they're just really rude. Witches are very rude. I don't like them much. But it would be good if she would repent and come around. But anyways, she seems to like some of the things I say, but she obviously is an enemy. She's a witch. She has to get me, and she wants to get me. But anyways, but they mentioned something about a cell phone, and I said, oh, I don't have a cell phone. It'll like give you brain cancer, and then we were kind of talking a little bit. So I talk to the witches. We have conversations. Like, they're sent to attack me, but once that attack is over, like, they don't have anything else, so then we just talk. Like, there's nothing else. Sometimes they'll be rude, too, but sometimes they just talk to me because they don't really hate me as a person. It's just an assignment. But anyways, then I still got, like, a little bit of coffee, and I was going to drink it. And then the one woman was like, oh, you can get that tablecloth put away? I'm like, okay. So I start to move my stuff, got my coffee, sit it, and then I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to drink this first. So I'm thinking, as she wanted me to leave my coffee, if I sit it down for 2 seconds and I'm facing the other way, they got people, some witches can astral project now, so I know. Like, they come real fast. So Wolf Witch, actually, she was able to poison my coffee somehow. She came between me and my coffee, but she grabbed a bag. And somehow that poisoned my coffee. But she never put her hands over it. So she used some type of magic to do that. And so Wolf Witch was there. And so I did not, I'm like, I'm going to drink this first. And I know this was another setup. And then somebody left a cup down there. And then I told her, I said, whose cup is that? I said, people, they curse me. They curse me. I bet that's a curse. And she goes and picks it up. She's like, oh, rolling her eyes at me. And I said, yeah, they cursed me over a piece of trash. I said, well, that's what they always do. And then I folded up the tablecloth and said it. But they were trying to curse me. Had I picked up somebody's trash cup, I would have been cursed. And that's probably why she wanted me to get the tablecloth. Because there was a cup on it. Had I picked up that cup, I would have been cursed. And they also wanted me to leave my coffee cup. No, I drank it. I drank it first. Excuse me. Oh. Excuse me. Sorry. So then on my way back, I thought to stop at this thrift store, which is called Paul. Anyways, they got a little front room with free stuff. So a lot of times I just stop here. It's right on my way home. So I stop in the little free room and see what they got. And they've got types of shoes laid out. They got more clothes, and they got some coffee holders, like the types that you take with you. I don't know what that's called, a stein? Or, no, it's like a container with a lid on it, and you put it in your car, and you take coffee from home. Like a thermos. So I got one of those. I got some shorts, and there was some skates. And then, I'm sorry. Man, my nose is running. And I tried the shoes. I got one pair of sandals. It was pretty good. None of the other stuff fit, but they had some nice things. But then I go to try on the skates, and so I'm thinking when I don't know. I went to try on one of the skates, and it fit. It was just the right size. And then I went to try on the other, and I noticed there's trash. There's like hay or something in it. And I look at it, and I'm like, I think there's mouse poop in the skate. And then I smell it. Oh, and the smell, it smells like it's just covered in mouse pee. It's horrible. And then my hand, I smell my hand smells like, oh. But then thank goodness at the health expo I got some hand sanitizer. I normally don't think this stuff works. I wouldn't use it if my hands were too messy, but for this situation it was great. Because then I had just touched this. They did have hand sanitizer in there I didn't know about. But then I didn't know what I was going to do. And I get my hand sanitizer out, and I rub it all over my hands, and I get my zipper pull, and then my hands don't smell bad anymore. Praise the Lord. But while I'm looking at this stuff, I hear the woman that works there. So there's a front room, and then there's a door, and she's right there. You can see her. She's talking to somebody, how she used to live. She said she lived someplace, and she moved someplace else. And that's right where my family was from, where my mom was from. So it was both the places my mom grew up and where she moved to. And this is what this woman said. So I thought, so then I knew I had to talk to her about it. And I go in, and then there's another man that comes in, it's a Haitian man. So there's a Haitian man in there. And I don't think he tried to attack me. I could be wrong. But I don't think the Haitians have. Maybe they did, and I don't know. But I don't think the Haitians are attacking me. They might not be. I'm just going to say. They might actually be a little more fearful of God. I don't know. But the Haitian man was there, and he kind of looked at me a little. I didn't know he was Haitian until I heard him say something, and then I heard he wasn't very good at English, and he had the accent. So he probably went there because I was going there. They see my bike. So I think he went in while I was in the free room, and then he was up by the front. And then the woman behind the desk was like, oh, and this stuff, and then they had cans and free stuff right there on the counter, and she showed it to him, and he got some. So that was good. He got helped out. So he followed me, I think, but I don't think he attacked me. I think they're just curious. I think they were told, like, maybe to see what's going on or what I'm doing. I don't know. Because, at least I don't know. If they've attacked me, I don't know. But it looks like they're more curious. And so, because he followed me, then he found, here's this thrift store, and they had free food right there. So he got to take some food home. But, I talked to this woman for a while, and she gives me a big trash bag, and so I pick up the pea skates with the trash bag, and she said use charcoal maybe to get rid of the smell. I'm like, okay. Well, someone else is in there, and I said, I went to try on this skate, and then there's mouse pee all over. She says, oh yeah, that's why you put it out in the freeze stuff. We got hand sanitizer here. I'm like, oh, I already used one. I said, well, actually, maybe I'll try to take it, so I didn't touch them with my hands again. I used the bag, and I picked them up. And now they're just sitting outside. So if there is some way to clean these skates, I tried one of them on, and it was the right size, and I liked it. It's just, how do you clean this? I don't know if you can. Maybe the solution is to look at the brand and to look at the size and buy a new pair. But anyways, there was watchers, people watching me. Oh yeah, like when I was at the other thrift store for 4 items, the woman came in and she was also keeping an eye. So she looked like she had more, and it would make it look like it was okay for me to take more than 4, and the other man. So if one of them missed, with both of them, they would notice if I took 5 items. So there was some little sprinkles, light rain. Oh, I first walk up to this woman and I said, oh, I overheard you said you lived here and here. And I said, my family is from there. But that was so long ago. And she mentioned something how I was in my 20s. She said, "Oh, and you're young, like in your 20s." I don't know how this. Oh, this came up because she moved so many years ago, and she said, "Oh, you gotta." She didn't say you gotta be in your 20s. She just said you are in your 20s. I said, "Oh, I'm in my 40s. I'm in my 40s." I said, and she couldn't believe it, but I'm like, yeah, the wages of sin are death. So, but if you don't sin, then that's what I said. That's the truth. um, they've been lying to you. Oh, excuse me. But oh, some of this is out of order because I forgot and then I wrote it later. And I've already spoken about it. Okay, oh, Sun Hat Man, while I was in the line to get my meal in the first place, he spoke a flea curse over me. Because I asked him about mowing the grass, and he said if it gets too high, you get fleas. And so I knew this was a curse because they always cursed me the same way. There was no reason to bring up fleas. I just asked him something about, I asked him about, like, if you got fined by the government. Because he mentioned he got fined by the government before. But he said, no, if it gets too high, though, you get fleas. And so then I said, I found fleas, normally people just drop them off and put them in my yard. But they get karma. They get their karma, and they find out that it wasn't worth it. And so then he gets a little nervous, just not much, but just a little bit. I just see a little bit, like 1% of that. God didn't need to make it too clear. I could tell. So he was cursing me, and I let him know, yeah, but I find out that when they do that, then they just get karma, and they find out that it wasn't worth it. Good boy, Reese. Okay, so I get back home, and it looks like there's a Haitian man across the street. Someone I don't know. And then there's a group of people, but it looked like there was a Haitian man first. And I say he looked Haitian more so. Or actually, wait, this is, I don't want to mess this up. So here's what happened. I remembered something about getting a voucher for some free items at a thrift store, and they said it was from here, and I was thinking the hospital was named this, but actually the thrift store is named that. So I was going to bike to the hospital and get the voucher, not thinking I was actually supposed to get it at the thrift store. So I go to the hospital, but actually, as I'm leaving my house, because it looks like it's going to rain, but it hasn't started yet. I was just going to stop by the hospital real quick, see if I can get my voucher and go back home before the rain starts. And as I'm leaving, there is what looks like a Haitian man. So the house right across the street, my neighbor. And he's speaking to the neighbor. Never seen this before. Highly unusual. He is speaking to the neighbor. And then I just leave right in front of him, and he looks and he watches me leave. So I know he was speaking to the neighbor about me, what she knew or spying on me, and then I just leave, and he sees me go by. And I see him with her. But anyways, I do go to the hospital and something happens, but I don't want to forget. When I get back from the hospital, there is a rent-to-own van across the street. So this is later. There is a big rent-to-own van, and it's sitting across the street for a couple hours. And so I understand they can be moving stuff, but this doesn't happen very often. Those people have been living there for a while, so this is usually cover. They'll put something in there to spy on me. Like, even I was with the devil, and he mentioned, yeah, there's vans, and they got surveillance equipment to hear what you're saying in your house. So I know they do this, and they've done this to me many times. They, I believe, also put a bug in the coffee machine, which is why no one else wanted it. Oh, but I put it on my front porch, so you guys lost. I put it on my front porch so my dogs wouldn't break it. But that actually saved me, because my dogs broke my electric kettle, so then I'm going to put the coffee machine outside. Plus, my kitchen is too disgusting. There's mouse crap on my kitchen, so I'm not going to put it in there. It's like my house is wrecked. Let's see. Rent-to-own van. It's just parked out there, and I know they're spying on me, because these neighbors have been living there for a while. They've been living there for a while. Maybe they're moving out, though. But if they're moving out and giving the items back, that's depressing. I guess that's possible. I think that's possible. But I guess I'll find out whether they're still there or not. So I don't know what's going on. But I know the van is there some way or another. It's related to me. They're spying on... They use this to spy on... And there was actually like 5 people outside and they're just hanging around. And they weren't actively moving anything. Like they were just standing out there. And I was watching them. So it was suspicious. Now, this could have been regular rent to own, but what I'm saying is, these people have been living there a while, and I've never seen this before. And now they were paid to spy on me, and there's a lot of people trying to kill me recently. So because of this, I know that it's not because they're renting furniture or giving it back right now. I think God wants me out of this house, and God is making it very clear I have to move. But the thing is, I don't have any money, and I don't have another house. So we'll see how that happens. Anyways, as I said, I'm not getting rid of this. No way. But I don't think that I can live here and give my dogs the life they deserve because of what all these people do. It's just nonstop. So anyways, I did record the vehicle across the street as well. But, so I went to the hospital. It's less than a half mile from my house. It's just right. And I was just going to the help desk real quick. I was just gonna, so wait, this is where I saw the spy. I biked to the hospital, and as I got near the doors, there's just a man standing there. He's just standing there with his phone, and his phone is pointing. He's following me with his phone and recording me. And then I go to park it on the bike rack. There's more people over here spying on me. I mean, this is crazy. But this is my life. And I go in. I go to the customer service desk is right in front. And I just ask them, well, about this thrift store. Can I get a voucher for the thrift store here where they do? Because this hospital has a thrift store. So I thought I had to go to the hospital to get the voucher. They said, oh, we don't know anything about that. Well, you probably have to get it at the thrift store. I'm like, oh, the thrift store has the same name as a hospital. So this was a really dumb mistake. But when I was at the thrift store, I wasn't thinking of what the name of it is. I didn't really know. I just knew where it was. And then when I heard the name, I always associate that name with the hospital. So then, they said, oh, that's okay. I said, I'm here for a reason. So then I grab a tissue, and then like 15 feet down is a chair, just sitting there, like a comfortable padded chair. And so then I just go sit in that chair. I blew my nose, I sit in that chair, and then I pray. And I know what's going on is as I start to pray, there are like people coming out of the woodwork. There's a woman over here, and they're watching, they're observing, and they're trying to, I don't know if they're wanting to make it weird, so I stop. But then I close my eyes, and then I pray, and I pray to God, that because there has to be free will. I pray everybody in this hospital that has asked for God to heal them, that has asked God to heal them, I pray they be healed now. I pray that God heal everyone in this hospital that has asked God to heal them. So people ask God to heal them, but they're not healed yet. So all of the people that have asked God to heal them in this hospital, I pray they all be healed. And I pray this for like, I don't know, like 30 seconds or so. And I open my eyes, and like people have come out, and they're like zombies wandering towards me. Oh, wait a minute. There's a woman over here, and I know she's watching. And there's a woman over here, and they're kind of wandering towards me, and one here. They're observing. And so then this was awkward, but I closed my eyes and I prayed it. Everyone that has asked God to heal them in this hospital, they be healed. I prayed that God heal them. So we'll see. I think it'll happen. Free will has to be involved, which is why I said everyone who has asked God to heal them. And so then I'm done. I don't plan on staying. I might have had like $1.50 of a Starbucks card left, but it wasn't with me. I wasn't going to get it today anyways. So then I start to leave, and I notice like there normally isn't much people in there. It was kind of empty, but as soon as I sit down to pray, then people are coming out of the woodwork. There's like 3 women coming, like, and I think they work at the hospital. They are employees there. They're like nurses or something. The dog is still drinking. So as I start to pray, and my eyes aren't closed yet, then they are wandering towards me. So they know. They've got the demons, so they know what's going on. If you don't have a demon, you can't do the magic. If you do have a demon, you can do the magic. So they know, and they're coming towards me. These are people that work at the hospital. And then I just pray quickly, and it didn't take but a few seconds for them to start coming out. So they probably watch. There are cameras. Because actually, as soon as I head into the parking lot, it's a big parking lot, there's a sign that says, "This is under surveillance." Sign right there, and I saw it right as I came in. So they were already notified. And once I sat down and didn't leave right away, then they came towards me. And then, as soon as I prayed this prayer, there's like a woman and someone else leaving right ahead of me, and I'm following them out. This was like less than 1 minute I'm in here. There's a woman and someone else, and she looks like a grandma witch. And she's got a younger woman with her, and they're just having a regular conversation and walking out. But I know this is because of my prayer. And she's heading out right ahead of me. And then she turns her head a little bit towards the person she's talking to, and I know this woman. I've seen her before. And then, they're just kind of talking. They're making it look casual, like nothing's the matter. But I know they had to leave because of my prayer. This was a grandma witch. It's their Wiccan Jesus is leaving. And so I'm like, excuse me, do I know you? Or are you from, I said, are you from this thrift store? And then she turned for me, and she was like, oh, actually, I know you from this church. It's like, oh, yeah, this, I know you from, I said, yes, this, then I said the name of the church to let her know. I recognized her, and I said, you prayed for me. This was the woman, when I was at the church, this woman looked like a good woman, and I said, if we can get 3 people together to pray. This is back when the black gang was following me, and I told her that, what was happening, and that God's using me to catch the criminals. And then this woman came in, and over the prayer, she started to pray epistles of Paul. And she started to pray that I would be happy and not afraid. And then I rejected it. Like, no, that's not what I wanted to pray for. I prayed that the mission be successful, and I'm not afraid. So, and then she prayed, and she was talking about epistles of poo. That's what it is. She, where Jesus' blood sacrifice, and, we don't do anything I don't remember. But anyways, then I knew this woman is an enemy. And now, since then, I found out these are the grandma witches. These are who run the churches. These are who run the Wiccan Christian churches. Which happened because the churches were lukewarm. This happened. They are Wiccan now because the churches were apostate, compromising with the world. And now, that just means that they become taken over. What's the matter? How much water are you going to drink? No. I think, rebuke, reject, cancel your witchcraft spells. Cancel your witchcraft spells. Yeah, I don't know. He could just be thirsty. But, see. Well, anyways. So the woman went and found someone I said to find someone who's a true believer to pray so we could pray in a group of 3. And she found this woman, And she didn't seem like very... She was up in rank at the church, but she didn't seem very godly to me. And then when she started to talk about epistles of Paul, I'm like, oh no. And then we got to pray again. And this time we're going to pray about that what I said doesn't get out to the wrong people. And she's like, well, she's a good woman. You can trust her. And I said, and I mentioned something else like, well, every church, they all get compromised. And but they can be protected with prayer. Maybe you could protect your church. But I don't think she had any interest in that. She was probably just an enemy. But anyways, now I believe this is the grandma that runs this church. And she had to leave. She was at the hospital. And she had to leave after I prayed. So, there... Cancel, rebuke, reject. So then that means it's not witchcraft. Maybe I'll stop for a minute. Okay, we're almost done. But I really, like, this is too good to be messed up. It has to be audible. So, anyways, I just did a short prayer to heal the people that had asked God to heal them. There are people that pray, they ask God to heal them, they're not healed yet. And I prayed that those people be healed. And then I stand up to leave, and right in front of me, this woman and someone else are leaving right ahead of me. They had to leave. As soon as I finished praying, they had to leave. And they were there doing who knows what. And this is something concerning. Why are all of these witches at the hospital almost like they are casting spells to keep people sick? Something to think about. Then I see her in front of me, and I go a little bit faster. I'm like, excuse me, do I know you from here? She's like, oh no, you know me from the church. And I said, yeah. And I said, yeah. And I said the name of the church to let her know where I recognized her from. I said the name of the church, and I said, and you prayed for me. She says, oh yeah. And she said, and you look good. So before I get into anything, this woman was the head witch at the church. Now, we can go back a day to what happened. Today is Monday. Sunday. When I was going to church on Sunday. There's another church. I was heading to there. And then, when I almost fell with my bike into the road and got run over. Because there was like 3 or 4 cars coming. And they were really close. And then my bike, like, I just start to fall over. I was on the sidewalk. So basically, I wasn't going fast or anything. I was stopped. And then, like, I just went forward a little bit on the sidewalk towards the road more to look left or right to see if I could get on the road. So I was not going fast or anything. So I stopped there, and I was thinking, I'm probably going to get in the road here because there's a sidewalk that's blocked off. They have put, like, construction stuff on the sidewalk and blocked it off on this side. So I have to get in the road. I have to at least cross the road. So then I'm on the sidewalk. And then I just scoot forward a couple more feet to look left or right and to get on the road. And that's when I start to fall with the bike, like, forward into the road. And so then I hop off the back of the bike and my bike falls forward. So I knew the way to save it is I had to push the bike forward, let it fall. Well, I didn't push it. I basically just, like, hopped off, and then the bike fell forward instead of me going with it and getting run over. So I hopped off, then I grabbed it real quick, and then I scooted back. And then I looked up, and there's the church. Well, guess what? This is the church. So the woman that was in the hospital, the grandma witch, she looks like a grandma witch. The grandma witch that was in the hospital, she had to leave right after my prayer. And at first, I thought she was the witch that was running the thrift store. But she looked a little different. But they look very similar, like they could be sisters. They look so similar, they look related. But anyways, excuse me, are you from this thrift store? She's like, oh, no, you recognize me from church. And I said, oh, yeah, this church. This is the church that I almost fell on the road and got killed the day before. So, see, he's making all that noise. They're probably casting a bunch of spells right now to keep me from recording my testimony. Yesterday, They were casting a bunch of spells. They had pastors from different churches. They were all doing they had witches from different churches. They're doing magic against me at the same time. They're all doing magic against me at the same time. And right where I almost fell in the road and got killed, right across the street was this church that this woman was from. This is the head witch at this church. And anyways, but they seem nice. It's like the Miyazaki films where they're like the evil grannies, but they got a good side. They're just like this. They're just exactly the same as this. But anyways, so what am I doing here? Okay, so then she turns around to talk to me. We just talk for like less than a minute. We just have a short conversation. And then she's like, oh, you know me from there? And she's turning more towards me as I'm saying, oh, I know you. And I said the name of the church, which is the church that almost killed, whoever was in there almost killed me the day before. It's probably her. And other people. I bet the other people, like possibly even the pastors or the pastor's wife, and other witches came in and they were there waiting. Because they knew this is the way I would go to get to the other church. This is the road you take to get to the church I was going. So then she looks at me. Once she turns all the way around and looks at me, she says, you look good. And not that I look, the way she said this doesn't mean, she wasn't saying beautiful. She said, you look good, as in, I had energy, I was healthy, I was alive. That's what I'm saying. The way she said look good, it meant I wasn't harmed. They did all that witchcraft and I was perfectly fine. That's what that meant. You know by the tone of the voice, by the way they look at you. And this woman knew. She was at the church where they almost killed me the day before. That's what I'm saying. So then she turns around and she's like, you look good. And like, yeah, I don't have a broken arm. And I didn't get run over. And I'm not crying. And I have energy. And I looked just like nothing was wrong at all, is what I looked like. So that's what she means. And then, okay, so I have these boots here. So you remember. Oh, I put the low ones on. So I got the same pair of boots, but it's got a 2-inch heel. And I decided to wear these to the hospital. Because I thought, you know, the bike actually is for someone an inch taller than me. So sometimes, like, my feet don't completely touch, like, I'm on my tiptoes when I stop on it. So I thought, I'll put these heels on, because I almost got run over yesterday. So I'll put these, like, heels on when I bike today for my own safety. Okay? So then, after the witch says I look good, then I kind of, like, angle my boot at her. And I said, oh, I'm wearing these boots because I almost fell off my, as I'm a little too short for my bike, and I almost fell off the bike yesterday, so I put these boots on. And I say that right to her, because she knows. She was the one doing witchcraft on me. Because actually, where I put my foot down, I should have been fine. But then instead of just, like, I was stopped, and I rolled forward a couple feet, closer to the road, to look left and right. And then instead, I started to, like, flip forward onto the road in front of cars that were coming. This is what I'm saying. This is witchcraft. This does not happen. I was stopped. And then let me roll forward 2 feet slowly. I've been biking, like, for more than a year. So I know how to do it. I'm actually pretty good at it. And so she knew, based on what she said, she knew what was supposed to happen to me and that it didn't work. And then right after I'm like, oh, see these shoes? I'm wearing these because my bike, I'm just a little too short for my bike, and I almost fell off the bike yesterday, so I put these on, just to let her know. I told her that, because she is the one that I know, she's at this church, they were responsible for that. And the pair of heels I just got from the soup kitchen earlier that day. So, the soup kitchen I biked across, they got the free clothes, and and I just said, I got the flat boots, and then, I left the high ones, and they were still there, so I took them today, and I wore them today, and it was perfect. Because it was a perfect setup to tell the witch that I knew what she did without making it too obvious. Because you can't outright say it. They don't. But it just made it come out very naturally. It was perfect. So, those boots were still there. It's like the way that God plans everything out. Not only do the boots look good, and they fit, and they're comfortable, but they were necessary for my meeting with the witch that tried to murder me the day before. But she also seems like a sweet old lady. But they're not. I think it's like the Hayao Miyazaki films. So just on my way, and I bike home. And yes, the same white SUV follows me. A couple of the same vehicles I always see follow me. See what's left. Yeah. Well, I guess that's about it. My stomach's upset from trying to make food here. I got some eggs from the food pantry, and I got a little toaster oven pan, and I put them in that, and I poured a little oil. I poured a lot of oil on top of it, and then I just put it in the toaster oven. Then I did the broil setting. Actually, at first I was like, "Oh, this is delicious," but then I'm starting to get sick eating it. And I ate some of this bread I got from the food pantry, and it was expired, and so then I'm like, and then I saw an ant in it. I'm like. And then I gave it to the dogs, and I'm like, I didn't see mold on it. There wasn't mold on it. But, now I would like some good food. I used to like to eat sushi. I would like a good steak. I would like some home-cooked food. Something like maybe a salad, or I don't know. But, I guess I'll be able to eat healthy food again soon, somehow. But there is a blessing today that I got. I actually like those boots I got. And then I got the coffee holder. It's about this tall. It fits right in my bike cup holder. And now I can take it and I can drain my own coffee. Instead of other people draining the coffee, I can drain the coffee and then I can close it. It'll be a little harder for them. Be a little harder for them to poison it. So, but yeah, that's about it. I hope someone enjoys this. This is important testimony. As I said, I'm a prophet of the Lord. I think in the end times, most people are able to be prophets. It's only if they choose to take the trials that come with the anointing. So if they accept the trials, which is the refining process, then most people could become prophets. So I'm not claiming that, but I'm saying is that if you choose to do this, then you probably won't have as much. I've got nonstop warfare, but you will have this kind of warfare. This is my testimony. This is what happens in my daily life. People try to murder me every day. They ruin stuff every day. It's kind of like a video game. But the thing is, I never get the prize. I never get, the reward. I never get the fun. That's the thing. I like it, except for then I want to have some fun, too. And I want to be comfortable. But no, I don't get that. But anyways, if you accept your calling, then don't expect non-stop onslaught. But this type of attack, it will probably happen to you, all of these. And you can learn from my experiences, what has happened to me, what to look out for, what to say, and what to do when it happens to you. But it is also an adventure. So it's also fun. But this is what you can expect if you accept a calling from the Lord. But remember that if you are being obedient to God, then nothing can harm you. Now you might get a little bit hurt. That's not what that means. But nothing will prosper. Nothing will take you out. Nothing will kill you. Something annoying will happen. Something will get dirty. You'll stub your toe. You'll fall over. But you won't get a broken leg. You won't be killed. God will protect you. But you'll feel the effects, and you'll go through certain things just to let you know what the enemy was doing. You have to be aware of what they were doing to you. Because part of this is knowing who's good and who's bad. Learning who's good and who's bad. And so that when God blesses you later, after you've learned, after you've been processed, you'll get blessed. And so then you know, these people are wicked. Don't share your blessing with them. They tried to destroy you. And many times they do play the victim. Many times most of the time, the enemy is poor. most of the time the enemy is in a bad situation. Why? Because they work for the devil, and the devil does not take care of their own. So they will look like the type of people that need charity, but that's why God has us go through this too, just to know that when you get blessed, do not share with them. You would have wanted to share with them, but they tried to kill you. Well, maybe they didn't try to kill you, but they sure as heck tried to destroy certain things that you had. They slander you. They say bad things about you behind your back. They will do disgusting things to your food. So do not share your blessings, but yeah. But I hope this is useful to someone. God bless you all.